Welcome to the April edition of the Project Nigel meetup. And as you can see, nobody's turned up. But that's because it's early. They're not supposed to be here till 10. So I'm not really worried about it at 9:20. And the first to arrive is Mr. Jonny Crook. How would I have guessed such a thing? Expect nothing less. Yes. And Mr. James Bowler. Number 3 is Gareth in his distinctively non-British Kia. But it is, after all, a social meetup rather than a snobby Rover meetup. Introducing Mr. Phil K. Hello, Phil K.
How are you?
Ah, you know what to do. And a Rover 75 driven by a rather smiley gentleman. What a lovely smiley face you have there, sir. And another 75. And now we have Mr. Peter Spires in his lovely gold Rover, which is a cousin of Nigel, and he's called Gary. Hello, Gary. Not you, the car. Nigel, Silver, Michael Jackson. Oh, my knees don't like that. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, or whichever one it happens to be. Is everybody listening?
No.
Who fancies going for a little drive?
Not me.
Not Simon, so that's one vote against. Anybody not want to go for a little drive?
I may or may not be attending.
That's 2 not doing it so far. Anybody want to go for a little
Yeah,
drive? That's
yeah.
1. More 2.
Is there a
3.
butty van up there?
Hey,
Is there a butty van up there?
bring your own butties. Bring your own flask.
Fence cat behind you. Fence cat.
Ah. Right, okay. We'll be setting off for a little drive, headed by Senior Mustard, and I'll be last. You've done this too tight, Johnny. I can't get the thing off now. Yes, Johnny. Yes, Johnny. But before that, I'd like to make a video where I'll just go around every car, and if you don't want to be seen in the video, just make sure you get yourself out of the way.
A majestic jump off there.
I'll just do it gently like that.
Oh, that was beautiful. Away!
This is the hello to the video part 2, where I now shall have a walk around the yard and see what cars we actually have here. Maybe I should close the gate to stop any more turning up, although there is room. First of all, we have a car called Reggie. This lovely blue 25 is called Reggie, as I've just said. What? Roger? Not Reggie? Oh, bollocks. Straight away I've got it completely wrong, which is typical of me. It's actually called Roger, and that grille on there used to belong to me. And I could do it back, actually.
That's actually Nigel's grill.
See, Nigel has given himself to many a car, including this one there, and that's very good of him. I'm sure you'll agree. That's why it looks so dreadful. Next to the car that isn't called Reggie but is called Roger is a car called Gary. Everybody said it together there, brilliant.
My name's Garfield. Gary for short.
Hey?
Garfield or Gary for short.
Garfield or Gary for short. Yeah. This is what Nigel used to be, and that's why we have them parked next to each other. Look, it's even the same age, an 03 plate. And as you can see, this one hasn't been messed about with. It's got the same amount of doors, the same sienna gold, the same seats that, yes, owned by Peter. Those seats don't look particularly comfortable, Peter.
They're not comfortable.
And why aren't they comfortable?
Because
Because they've got metal sticking through,
metal sticking through.
digging in your back.
They have.
And do you enjoy the feeling of
No,
metal sticking in your back, do you?
No, I'm
You should do
changing-
with those seats what I did with mine, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yes, you'll get a word in
Change-
edgeways in 1 second, I'll let you speak. Go on.
Change them for 200 seats. That's what I'm doing.
Ah, that is a good idea.
We prefer metal in our face, not our back.
Yeah.
Okay.
You strange chaps. Trophy blue ZT owned by this chap here that looks a Dare I say it? Dare I say what you look like?
Go on then.
Brian Blessed.
Oh, I've cut it a bit now.
Not shouty enough for that.
Not shouty enough for you! That scared the dog, that did. What's this car called? I've forgotten.
Big Blue.
Big Blue, that's it. And it is a ZT diesel. That's diesel, but you could call it diesel. He's got a Project Nigel sticker in the back, which is in the wrong place because it should be there. It also has a set of Rover 75 contemporary seats instead of the standard MGZT plastic seats which fall apart. And we have a non-British car here. You can tell it's a non-British car, and some non-British people who are not very patriotic bringing along such a car as this. It is a Mazda MX-5. No, it's not. It's an Unos. Is it offensive to call your Unos a Mazda MX-5?
It's not. It's offensive to call it a Miata because that's what they call it in America. So MX-5 or Unos Roadster is completely acceptable in my eyes.
If only he had one himself. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
I'd love one, yeah.
Yeah.
British Racing Green.
Yeah. With gold wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And a really incredibly noisy exhaust. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
That's where you're wrong because I've had the exhaust sorted.
Oh, don't tell them that. And then we have an MG TF just here, this blue one, also trophy blue. It used to have green wheels, which looked rather. It looks rather. There isn't a word for it, but it's basically down to one's own taste. And some would like that kind of thing, and most wouldn't. But the fact is, if one person liked it and he had green wheels on it, that would be fine. But forget about the fact that everybody else didn't like it, because that's not really relevant. And now it's got grey wheels, which make it a little bit less distinctive. And this is owned by a chap called Simon, who has pink hair. We go looking for Simon, actually. Simon! Here, Simon! 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 Who are you?
Where are we going?
Hello.
Are you not going to tell us?
I'll tell you in a minute. Where's Simon? He must have found himself in the caravan or something like that. Look at this. This is Michael Jackson. The Rover 25, owned by Senior Mustard. Brought to the yard by a chap because he saw lots of Rovers here once. And it was definitely the correct place to bring it, because this is a very nice low mileage Rover 25 that is going to be going for sale.
Best colour, the best model, Project Drive Mark II, can't beat it.
Come on,
Only
put
love,
some effort
no
into
hate.
it. Put some effort into it. What is it that's so good about this car? That
The lines, the fact that it's not a Rover 45, it's an R, it's an O, it's a V, it's an E, it's an R, 45.
and it's silver.
It is the
Yeah.
best colour, Starlight Silver.
It's the best silver, but not the best colour.
If you say so. Yeah, everything about it. Project Drive, it's lighter, so there's none of that rubbish soundproofing in there or anything like that.
It's not
More
really
fuel efficient.
lighter.
Yeah.
How much lighter though?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
What, about
just the fact that it's
3 or
lighter.
4 kilos?
Yeah, but it all makes a
And then you
difference.
sit in it and spoil it.
How dare you? I'm 9 stone wet through, mate. And obviously the nice.
Now your
angel
beard's
eyes
9
at the
stone
front.
wet through.
The angel eyes at the front. The better Viking ship.
It's not a better Viking ship though, is it?
Though, isn't
It's a worse one.
it? How is it?
It's-
Easier to draw.
Yeah. There we found
there you
something
go.
good about the Viking ship that is in fact inferior.
No misty. And that's not with WD-40.
I should hope not.
Yeah.
Oh look, it's a Rover 800 Vitesse. This is the fast one. It's the proper Gentleman's Express, and it's red, and it's rather nice, and it's got a massive, great big trumpet sticking out the back. What's all that about?
Oh, yeah, you can horn sound,
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Gosh, that does sound different.
You pressure that gets miles to a gallon.
Yeah. Right, careful, you won't have any fuel left. Someone's brought a car along called Eric. And then this.
I've not got a new spoiler.
Oh, what? You've got to shut your boots. This looks somewhat abandoned there, doesn't it? I did a test drive in this car, and I know the last video that I did of people turning up at the yard where I saw this car, I said exactly the same thing, because it's true. I did a test drive in this car and it was fantastic. It's still fantastic. And it's got opal fruits, I haven't seen them for years. Nice ignition blue ZT Tourer, that looks good. With its white grid spoke wheels on, it looks the part. It's a sporty looking car, and maybe it is. I hope it's not diesel. I hope it's not diesel. It's a diesel! That's really disappointing. And now time to look at a rather splendid copper leaf 75 1.8 turbo. That's the quick one. You might think the V6 is the quick one. Now, these are quicker, and they certainly feel quicker, and it's more about the experience, the sensation of speed. Even if it's not quick, if it feels quick, that'll do. Alistair's much loved Rover 75 called Grace. I know it's called Grace because he always bangs on about it on Facebook. Don't you, chap?
I do.
He absolutely loves this car, and why not? Could do the headlamps polishing though.
Yes. Guilty as charged.
It's always a treat to see this car knocking about. That is Karl, no not Karl, Karl Davies's ZT ZS 195 with the Kavicha 1.8 turbo, and it is rapid. It is, it's a very quick car. I had a lovely test drive at it, and yeah, it's great. It's one of the nicest, one of the coolest, quickest feeling cars I've ever had a go in. I'm sure he still likes it. Mr. Bath and his Rover 75 Tourer in midnight blue, which is arguably the best colour for one of these. I certainly think it's the best colour for a Rover 45. What about a 75 Tourer? Where is the man with the pink hair? Where is the man with the pink hair? He's there, he's there, with his glasses on his beard, he's there.
I've got glasses on, what are you on about?
He's there.
I've gone mad.
I was just looking at your car, Simon,
Yeah.
and I noticed that you've removed the green wheels, and I'm interested to know why you've removed the green wheels that make it so distinctive.
Well, the green wheels, Paul, I will tell you about the green wheels.
Leave your beard alone.
I will not. I tend to put them on if I'm going to shows and stuff, like modified live at Cadwell and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, so this little get together isn't enough. I thought perhaps you'd just have them resprayed.
You've had green wheeled Margaret before, though. You don't need green wheeled Margaret twice.
Green wheeled Margaret. That's its name. What's your car called, Simon? Green wheeled Margaret.
Yeah, that's it.
What's under the thumb? I wouldn't have even noticed that if you hadn't done that. But now you've done that, my eyes are drawn towards the bit of respray there and along there as well. And
You dropped your ball like this.
yeah, you have, yeah. And you haven't got enough stickers in there, clearly. Not like his 75, which is now covered in stickers. What an endearing character.
Yes, I will cover Margaret in more stickers.
The last car, or nearly the last car, this the Rover 75 1.8
You will listen
turbo.
to my Kia story.
Shut up, you. Owned by a man called James, and he loves it. He looks after it. He's always taking pictures of it and sticking it on Instagram. Which is, yeah. What's this? What's this doing here?
It's a wonderful car. It's a Rover from another mother. Yeah.
Apparently, this is a Rover from another mother.
But it has no mechanical issues.
And he's selling it on the fact that it's got no mechanical issues, and that's why it's perfectly fine. You know it's perfectly fine to bring this piece of junk here, but don't try and sell it by saying it's got no mechanical issues. It ain't.
It turns out.
Well, good. None of these cars have mechanical issues. None of these cars besides his have a mechanical issue. Do they? Everyone's turned up. We can only smell petrol slightly in certain places, so I reckon everything's fine.
Yeah, me too.
But you do like that car, don't you? And that's all he can say, that it's wonderful. No detail. He's got no context to explain why it's wonderful. It's just wonderful.
That's his gift for you, so it's wonderful.
Oh, yeah, I better be careful what I say actually, hadn't I?
Do you like big boots and you cannot lie?
No.
All right.
Yeah, I do actually. Of course I do. Mustard and Jake on the road together to Blackston Edge, 6 miles away. It's going to be a real trek.
No one knows where they're going.
Yes, they do. Of course they do, that's why the traffic's so slow. But lip to get onto it.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Alistair!
Ah,
Hello!
hello.
It just looks like one of these.
No, I don't think so. Not unless I came up here when I went.
20 horsepower.
Yeah.
What that little ashtray?
Oh, yeah, at least.
Peels off and it wants to go. That's what I like about some of the American stuff.
Going on that one, could have won it.
Yes.
What have you done to my car?
I've made it more expensive to work on and made the parts cost at least 100% more. Vorsprung Dirch technique and all that.
That was a really, very, very nice, favourable thing you've done.
What next time?
Bye, Richard E. Grant.
I couldn't believe it.
At last, Nigel's old wing is going to find a new home, and I hope it fits in the boot because he's already paid me £300 for it.
Is this free then?
Yep. I would very much like to say thank you to all of the people that attended the 4th Project Nigel meetup today. It was a lot of fun. And also, I'd like to say thank you to a few people for bringing along some gifts. First one being Jonny Crook. Jonny Crook brought along me a few beers, which is very nice of the ginger-bearded chap. Apparently there were loads, but he kept drinking them. So that's well appreciated. And then another box of beer from a chap called Steve, who isn't on Facebook or YouTube, but he does watch the videos. And that's why he sent some videos along, sent some beer along. Videos. Let's put that there. Very, very much appreciated, Steve. Thank you very much. And then you can hear that, can't you? A bag of goodies from Bad Books, who turned up. I know he came from quite a way off as well. And in here we have some biscuits and Jaffa cakes, and then actually some car products. Ultra foam cleaner, and this. So yeah, he'd obviously seen what I've been doing and thought that's not good enough. I'm going to give you something which is more, suited to the actual job, and some car wash stuff and some wheel cleaner and some colour polish and some multi-surface interior cleaner. That's very good of him, wasn't it? Yeah? Very good chap. I've not finished either because Gareth Williams who is on Facebook but not on YouTube, brought along some beer. So, shall we see what we've got? We've got First Ferret, which is nice, and this Acorn Yorkshire Pride, which I've never tried. Golden Champion, which I've not had for years. Duvel, which is fantastic. This, never tried that one before. Yeah, they keep coming. The old favourite McEwen's Champion Ale, and a bottle of Pedigree. Impressive, eh? Well, that's not finished either, because they also, the generous chap that it's his, he supplied me with a couple of new glasses. You know, a Badger Ale glass, very nice, and a really special one, which I shall use in a bit. The Duvel beer glass. Look at that. It's like an old style fish bowl. Isn't that lovely? That's more than enough for a gift. But for some reason, he didn't stop there. I thought I'd bring something else as well. In fact, Gareth sent me a message yesterday saying, I'm going to come along and bring some beer and a couple of gifts. And then said, is that okay? So, obviously it's okay. Well, this will surprise you. Tea bags. Thompson's tea bags, which are very, very nice. We brought some before. And not just one, but another one of a different type. And then another one. So, I won't be needing to buy the tea bags at work for a while. And curiously, a bottle of brown sauce as well. So, that was a really surprising bit. Last but not least, so this is still recording. It is good. Rob Bath came along, and him and his wife have just opened up a printing company, and he did this picture for me. That was from the Motorist last year. What a lovely picture. And this is the final thing. A new Project Nigel cup. That is ace. Been very much spoiled today, haven't I? I've asked for any of this stuff. It just seems to be the generous way that people are. Gareth in particular. Gareth hung on a little bit after everyone else had gone home, and we had a very nice chat, and he said some very, very nice things about why he's brought all this stuff along. And, you know, I just really appreciate it, and I don't expect gifts, okay, I really don't, but it is nice when you get them. It is very, very much nice. It's very, very, very much nice, very nice. Anyway, that's the end of the video. We will be having another get together in possibly a couple of months, or maybe 3. Give you time to save up. Bye bye. Can you see what car I'm in? Yeah, I'm in Nigel. Nigel's just been retaxed today, ready to come out and play. And yeah, I'm feeling happy about it, as you may imagine. But he's been stood for 2 months, so the brake discs are just a bit rusty, and they're making a funny grinding noise, but that'll soon come off. My main concern actually isn't that, it's the amount of petrol left in it. For some reason, I drove it up here with barely anything in it. The really nice surprise was getting in it after 2 months, one flick of the key and it was on. So that's definitely quite a good battery in this car. Only about 1/4 of a mile away from the petrol station. Will Nigel make it? Of course he will. There, we've made it. Back to the happy Nigel times. Man in the petrol station there, you should have seen his big beaming smile at my car. It's fabulous to be back. Nigel's here. Of course, Rover 25 Live didn't stop for me whilst Nigel was away because I've had Eric, and Eric's been a very, very good car, and he will continue to be in use because I kind of like him. But it still is no match for this. It's not because the diesel engine is a big heavy lump and it affects the steering. It affects the feel of the steering. Being back in a 1.4 with its lovely little zingy, sprightly sounding engine, and the steering's proper rapid and quick, and it's fabulous. It's a much more responsive and fun car to drive. How could it be any more fun than what it actually is? It's the most fun car ever. And I just remembered something. I remembered something about this car that I almost forgot about. The 8-horn shouty thing. I actually feel like pressing that now. I shouldn't do it here though, should I? Nigel back in the yard. Nigel back in the yard, where he belongs. Where he belongs, in the yard, looking all colourful and fruity and happy, and I could do with doing something about that. And it could do with a wash, and it could do with a bit of a vacuuming, because it's going to be grotty little car. I may as well do that now, hadn't I? Oh, this isn't good. I found a bag in the boot. There's some takeaway leftovers. Well, there weren't any food there, just crumbs. And that looks like mice have been in there. And the boot is absolutely soaked, unfortunately. It doesn't smell too good either. Because the boot is damp, I'm going to go back to having nothing in there. Nothing at all. Until I find out why it's so damp. But I have found out how mice have got in there, and I've just found 50 pence and a tiny piece of glass. A tiny piece of glass from when I had to break this window. I thought I had the whole lot up. After all of the excitement of collecting Nigel, I've decided to leave him here tonight. He's just been washed, and how handsome and shiny does he look, eh? Lovely. I don't want him getting dirty.